Welcome to the second of our Topic Tuesday webinars, the Honors Colleges in Mississippi. Welcome to this webinar. We have an intro housekeeping that we wanted to share with all of you. Know that you're entering the webinar on mute. And if you have any questions throughout the presentation, or if you'd like to talk with any of the panelists, have specific questions, the chat is where we're going to be having you, if you have any technical difficulties, if you want to interact. The Q&A, if you have specific questions for the presenters, please put that in the Q&A section. We have moderators that will be watching those throughout. So welcome to today's webinar. We've got an intro housekeeping slide that we are going to have all of you complete. So as we wait for attendees to join us today, those that are with us, what we want you to do is put in the chat the answer to this intro question. What questions would you like answered today by honors colleges in Mississippi? We've got a great panel that will be presenting out today from all across the state. And so we want to see, do you as attendees have any specific questions for our panelists? We can go ahead and have you drop those in the chat just to get familiar with the format of Zoom. Today we will be screen sharing the whole time, and we will have a variety of presenters. So at any point, if you have specific questions on anything that the presenters are providing, please use the Q&A feature, and then the chat feature will allow for all of us to communicate with either the panelists or with other attendees. So if you'll just drop in the chat if you have any questions specifically for honors colleges today. Looks like we've got one. What measures are honors colleges taking to instill community with their students during this remote learning hybrid situation? So panelists, if you think through that, you've got several minutes to kind of think through that answer, jot it down, and try and incorporate that in your presentation. Thank you, Heath, for that. Another one that's come in is, good morning. I'm wondering for students, what are the benefits of joining an honors college? What additional opportunities and supports do students gain from joining an honors college? Great question, John. I know that a lot of the panelists today have that conversation probably very regularly, and will definitely be addressed. So if we'll move on, we're going to go ahead and get started.
Good morning and welcome to the webinar. I'm Shannon Grimsley. I'm the Director of State Outreach for the Woodward Hines Education Foundation and the Get to College program. We are recording today's session and we'll send a link to anyone who registered. For those watching the recording, today's date is August 18th, 2020, and the material in this webinar will be current through the 2021 school year. In today's session, Honors Colleges in Mississippi, you'll hear from some of our state's Honors College staff members as they highlight distinctive strengths of their college's program and admissions procedures for each Honors College. I will now share a little background and Get to College and a few logistics about the webinar before we get started. Get to College is a nonprofit program of the Woodward Hines Education Foundation. We have 3 centers in Mississippi, one in Jackson, one in Ocean Springs, and one in South Haven. We help parents, students, and high school counselors with all aspects of college planning and financial aid. And best of all of our services are absolutely free. In our centers, we offer personalized college counseling appointments where we can tell students when to apply for admission and scholarships, help them fill out their FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, or advise on writing essays and interviewing skills. For the fall semester, just as most of you are, we are offering all of our services in a virtual manner. This will include the counselor webinar series that you're watching now, all other professional development opportunities, student and parent workshops, remote FAFSA completion, and two-way text messaging. During the webinar, we cannot see or hear you, but you can ask us any questions through the instant message at any time. So our agenda for the day, we will have an introduction and then we will get started with our presentation and from all of the presenters. Then after that, we will have a little bit of time for question and answer, and then we'll go over some upcoming webinars and our contact information. As I said before, I'm Shannon Grimsley, the Outreach Program Director at Get to College. And also joining me on the webinar is Kirsten Dufour, who is our Assistant Director and Project Manager. She will be replying to all the Q&A for today and monitoring the chat. And again, we will have a time for live Q&A with the presenters at the end. But do feel free to message your questions at any time on the chat. So we will now hear from our panelists. The order of today's presenters will be in alphabetical order by their college name. Presenters, I will be navigating your slides for you today, so just let me know when you're ready to flip to the next slide. Each presenter will have about 6 to 7 minutes for their presentation, and Kirsten will keep us on track with time. So I will now turn it over to Dr. Gerald from Delta State University to get us started.
Good morning. I'm Dr. James Gerald from Delta State University. I took over the honors program at Delta State just a couple of years ago, and it's been a fun ride so far. So let's talk about the program and what we do and how do we get into it. Our enrollment right now is 73 students spread across 25 different majors. You can see biology is our largest cluster, and that's mostly pre-meds. This year we had 2 community college transfers come in, 2 homeschooled students come in. So we have a variety of ways that we bring students in that don't necessarily require the traditional ACT path. You know, for high school applicants, all our students with less than 30 hours, we're looking for an ACT of 26 or better, a high school GPA of 3.5 or better. If they have college credit, we're looking for a GPA that's pretty good. And our application process is pretty simple. You can do the straightforward, we're gonna do essays, we're gonna do letters of reference, or if you want, I can set up a Zoom interview with students and we can have a panel of faculty just get together and interview the student. That's our, we have some students that have done that. Most have gone with the traditional letters of reference, although during this time, when they kind of got disconnected from the high school, we had more go with the interview process. One of the things we're up against here at Delta State is we have a lot of students that come from high schools that didn't serve them well, but they're great students, and we don't have a really good way to know that when they come out of high school. And so when I took over the program, we changed the admissions process so that if you come to campus and you get in 30 hours and you knocked it out of the ballpark, we're going to take you. Right. And so I have students that are in the program now. They came out of high school with a 19 ACT. They came out of high school with a 18 ACT, and they got on campus and they had a 4.0. And so those students that we invite into the program, they've shown us what they can do. And so we, again, for them, we do the Zoom interview, we do the letters of reference, our essays. And if they're a transfer student coming from our current honors program somewhere else or Phi Theta Kappa, I just need a letter from their director saying, hey, this is a good student. And so we've opened up the process. When I took over, the only way to get in was as a freshman or as a Phi Theta Kappa transfer. And so, and that quite frankly disenfranchised a lot of students. And so we worked hard to change that so that a good student's a good student. We don't care how they ended up with us. And that's one of those really important things to me. Our curriculum, we've got first year seminar for honor students, and this is one of the key benefits. Quite frankly, this is one of our key benefits. You don't have to sit in first year seminar with everybody else. And we do different things in our first year seminar. We have service learning, and this year we're turning towards our international students to kind of help them with their language skills and all of that as our service learning students, because we've got to do something remotely. Last year we went remote just as I was about to send all the students into nursing homes all over the place, and into clinics all over the place, and we simply had to pull the plug. We have an honors course, honors composition and literature. One of the struggles we have and everybody has is students come in with both composition courses already knocked out of the park. And so we created this course. If you need a composition course, you take English 200 and it counts for composition. If you don't need a composition course, you take English 201 and it counts for lit. My favorite course that I run every semester, interdisciplinary seminar. We are meeting virtually, of course, and we have a Zoom meeting into which we invite someone. And so far this year, because we're on Zoom, so far the person that's the farthest away for our seminar lives in Alaska. And so I'm inviting people from all over the world to participate in our seminar, and we do a Q&A with our students just to go over careers and career paths and what it's like to be an adult working. We also have, like a lot of colleges, we have a contract courses where you work one-on-one and turn any course into an honors course. And one of the key things that we're doing this semester, we did last spring, and in addressing the community issue, and by request, the student said, please start that up again. By request from them, every Friday afternoon, we have what I call honor student Friday afternoon oof, right? And so we get together via Zoom on Friday afternoons, and they vent a little bit, and they let the stress out, and they commiserate, and we talk through issues. And it's kind of like a big gigantic group counseling session every Friday afternoon, just so that they have that togetherness and that community, and get to touch base with each other on a regular basis. Some of our benefits, $500 a semester, early registration. We do field trips when we can, more one-on-one faculty instruction, and additional advising, which is mostly me, because I don't talk about getting them through their program. I talk about getting them through their career. And so it's a different conversation than what class should you take. It's more about what do you want to be in the world? Where do you want to go in the world? And that's it. Thank you very much.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to speak to you guys today in regards to the Honors College at Jackson State. Dr. Gerald, thanks so much. You've said a lot of what I'm going to say today. We have here at Jackson State University, our Honors College is celebrating its 40th year this year, and I'm excited about that. We have 4 portals of entry for our students. Kind of like Dr. Gerald, when I took this position in 2012, there was only 1 portal of entry, and that was as a freshman. Our ACT score for our incoming freshmen is a 23, because our average ACT score here at Jackson State is about an 18. So we have a 23 for the ACT. We do make a request for recommendation letters once we've invited students in, and then students have to accept the invite. Students who have a 25 or 26 or higher on the ACT, they get an invite. We're not even asking a whole lot of questions. Those students who have down to the 23, then we need some additional support for them to be offered the invite here at Jackson State University. Then what I realized many years ago, I've been in higher ed quite a while, I realized that there are those students who have come from underprepared high schools, and they don't have an opportunity to be a part of honors. And so I created a portal of entry for those students like Dr. Gerald, who earn their first 30 hours, no more than 40 hours, who have a 3.5 or higher. And we extract that data so that we can invite those students. And here at Jackson State, we have community service transcript. So I can also look at what kind of involvement the students have and what they're doing as it relates to the community service to make sure that they are a good fit for the Honors College here at Jackson State. Got my head tilted. And then we also have those students who are transfer students. We accept transfer students 2 ways. One, if you're coming from a community college, then, and you have a 3.5, you are Phi Theta Kappa, you have your certificate and your associate's degree, then we invite those students into the Honors College. If you are coming from another institution in which you were part of an honors college at that institution and you have a letter of good standing, then we accept those students into our honors college. So that gives us those portals of entry for Honors College at Jackson State. What do we do? I say service and advocacy. We are your advocate. We provide services to our students. There's so many opportunities that are created inside of an honors college. Oftentimes, employers are looking for the cream de la cream of the university, or they're looking for very specific types of students with specific experiences. I have a engineering firm that we work with that's out of Atlanta. They're looking for students who are interested in wastewater treatment careers, or careers in wastewater treatment. And so as we work through those kind of things, we have those opportunities that come to us, and we afford those opportunities specifically to our honors college students. And they come, I would say, 3 or 4 a week. Opportunities for our honor students. So that's when I say service and advocacy, that's going to be so important. That's a part of our benefits. We also have the Ronald E. McNail Post-Baccalaureate Achievement Program here at Jackson State. It was written it's a grant from the United States Department of Education. It was written as a benefit to honors college members. So it's only open to our honors college members here on our campus. We also write some ancillary grants, smaller grants from foundations, and we create those opportunities to support our students financially. Particularly, we look at gap funding. Many of our students are going to come in with some type of scholarship, whether it's external or internal, and then we want to support them to make sure that they are less likely to have to spend a lot of time working, because that interferes with what we want to do in the summer. Our students have to maintain be a member of Honors College. They have to participate in 1 monthly meeting a semester, 1 community service a semester, and 1 enrichment or straight talk session each semester. Our straight talk sessions are our sessions where the students bring in their issues and their concerns, or if we see overarchingly there's some overt issues that are happening on the campus, then we'll create our straight talk around those things so that we address student needs. You got to maintain, a minimum of 3.0 GPA. We try to encourage a 3.25 GPA for our students. And then we have multiple programs within our Honors College. We have our Du Bois Harvey Debaters, which is open only to Honors College members. We ensure that all of our freshman members have peer mentors so that they can have that experience. Also, to graduate as an Honors College graduate, we require that our students do an internship, a co-op, or a study abroad. And so our office helps to facilitate that. We help with the technical assistance for identifying applications and for completing applications. Prior to COVID, we spent some time in China, we spent some time in Japan, and we did a couple of trips to South Africa, to Cape Town, South Africa. So we're looking to, once we make it through COVID, to continue those experiences. But we're still working with our students in doing and completing internships, because that's also important, because you find out whether you like it or you don't like it, whether you want to do it or you don't want to do it when you participate in an internship experience. And so that's important for us, for our Honors College members here at Jackson State University. Other than that, we have peer tutors, we have our ambassadors, just lots of opportunities that come into the Honors College that we share specifically with our students. To create our cohort, we make sure during their freshman year, we have them as many of the same freshman classes so that our students can actually, my time's up?
Yeah, 1 minute.
Okay, so that our students can actually create that cohort. We're doing a lot of Zoom meetings, all those meetings and activities. We're doing online community service. Those opportunities exist. And so what we like to say to each of you guys, I think everybody's being creative about how we make it through this COVID. And that's a part of the think tank for honors. And we allow our students to help us with that process.
Y'all, happy Tuesday. What a great morning. Glad to be spending it with you all. I'm Michael. I get the honor of working at MC and helping recruit Honors College students. Here's the deal. Here's what's something cool and different and distinctive about Mississippi College. What we believe is that our job, our purpose, MC's purpose on this earth is to create graduates that get out there in the real world and whatever your chosen profession is, and to be the best in the world at what you do and to transform the world for Christ. That's what MC does. That's our mission statement. That's what we're built on. And that's what our Honors College is built on as well. So if you're out there and you're interested in transforming the world for Christ and being at a place that's going to make much of who he is, maybe you're a fit for our Honors College. So something cool about MC's classroom in general is our average class size is 18 students. So every class you go in is going to be somewhere that people know your name. But our Honors College, the specific 15 or 16 students that get in our Honors College every year, and that's how big the class is every year, those students go through MC for 4 years as a cohort. It's a cohort learning model, meaning you're going to travel through the 4 years with your Honors College, but only for one Honors College course per semester. You're going to be a normal MC student. You're going to take normal classes with all of your friends all around campus, except for one class per semester. And that class will be taught in the Honors College, and it'll be with your Honors College cohort that you go with throughout the whole process. So small classes everywhere throughout MC, but specifically in the Honors College, you're part of a cohort. One of the other things you get in the Honors College at MC is an international travel experience. Come on, who doesn't want to get out and about and go learn another language and go do something awesome and serve the world in awesome ways? Well, we do it. You get an international travel experience as well, totally paid for. The model is an experiential learning model. So you'll do a lot of stuff in the classroom, but at the same time, you're gonna do a lot of stuff out of the classroom. What's the point of not ever doing anything with the knowledge that you have? Well, we make sure that you learn and then go and do. That's what wisdom is. It's active knowledge that turns into something that you do. That's what you're going to get in our classrooms. Part of the biggest thing that I can tell you, I think a great question from the audience was, what kind of benefits do I get? Well, small cohort, international travel experience, and best part, totally paid for. Tuition, room and board, meal plan, fees, any academic related expense during your time at MC is totally paid for because you are in the Honors College. You're an Honors College Choctaw. It's a huge deal. You also get the best residence hall in the whole campus. In fact, if you're not a member of the Honors College, you've got to actually be a junior or a senior to get access to these apartment style living quarters. They're amazing, full bathroom, full kitchen, full living room. I mean, it's the creme de la creme. It's the best place on campus, and you get access to that as a freshman in the Honors College. That makes some upperclassmen kind of mad, but that's okay. They didn't earn it. You earned it. Let's see, the application process. So all this entire package that's totally covered, totally free for your 4 years at MC. Did you hear that? It's totally covered. The whole process starts with an application in mid-October. You've got to have a 29 or higher on the ACT to compete in the Honors College. The application process is on our website. It will be posted mid-October. You'll get plenty of communication about that. But it goes with ACT, with high school GPA. This year is going to be a blended thing because we understand that the ACT is potentially not able to be taken. Totally fine. So we're coming up with creative ways of how to invite students that have not competed with taken the ACT. So more on that to come. But the process looks like you go through an interview, you turn in a couple essays, you get letters of recommendation. You've got to do a few things to jump through the hoops. And the final 16, the 15 or 16 that make it all the way through, that are approved, that get all the check all the boxes, earn membership to the MC Honors College, which takes you all 4 years through, totally paid for. I think Heath had a good question. Heath, good work. Asking a question, that kind of thing is what we're looking for in the Honors College. The way we're handling COVID is, well, every one of our students is masked up. We're getting temperature checked every day. We tested every single student before they moved on campus. We had 7 positives out of 1,700 tests. That's pretty incredible. And we're operating business as usual. Students are in class. They are in class right now. Classes are at half capacity. If classrooms couldn't handle half capacity, what they're doing is a hybrid model where half the students come one day, half the students come the other day, and then on your off day, you're on Zoom during the same class time. But we're doing it, full-fledged classes in person right now at MC. So let's see. Last thing I'm gonna say, because I don't want to get cut off on time. They say I'm long-winded. I'm gonna be short today. And yes, this is short. What we do at MC is we transform the world for Christ with our graduates. We want to put people in the business world, the medical field. We want to put people in law. We want to put people in the field that the Lord has blessed them with the passion to be able to do, with the mindset of how can I impact the kingdom? How can I impact the world for Christ when I get out there in the real world? That's what we do at MC. That's what our Honors College does. Go Choctaws.
Michael is now encouraging me to start drinking coffee because I don't have that energy. Well, guys, welcome. My name is George Dunn. I'm the Director of Student Services here at the Shackles Honors College of Mississippi State University. And we are celebrating this year 52 years as an honors college at the university. So we'll just get through this and talk a little about what we offer and how to do it. So often the first thing we ask, our students ask us is, what's it take to be an honor student? And chances are, if you're already asking that question, you're in the ballpark. To some extent, honors education anywhere you go is self-selective, right? Because you always have to do something to be considered for honors. And sometimes that means an invitation, sometimes that means an application, but you're a student who's excelling at some level or another. As you can see, our averages, our average ACT this past year was a 31.5 with an average GPA of a 4.05, which I guess is pretty good considering last year we had 1,891 honors students here at the university. So it was about 10% of our freshman class, or not freshman class, university as a whole, 10% of the undergraduate population. You'll have to forgive me. I mix my ties sometimes from graduate school to honors. I've shared some careers at times. So what we do is help y'all out. Let's see what we've got here. Biggest things that we do is we try to give you exposure that you're not going to get with just the general population. And that's something that we've already heard 3 other colleges talk about. And so what we help students do is we help them think in terms of global scale, global economy, global relationships. So students who are active in the Honors College in good standing will have the opportunity to apply for funding to study anywhere. And it doesn't have to be a quote honors study abroad, even though we do have those options. It can be any study abroad at the university that's for credit. So one of the things that we offer that's really unique is we've got a 6.5-week, 6-credit study at the University of Oxford in England. This was the first year in 9 years we did not do that program, obviously. But this program is 6 hours where you do 3 hours as a cohort of honors students, about 15 or 16 of those students. And then you do 3 hours one-on-one with an Oxford faculty member where you pick the subject. And we don't mean subject like Calculus 1 or differential equations. We mean subject like I want to study literature on, I'm not making this up, by the way, literature on serial killers or pharmaceutical developments over the last 200 years. It's really up to you. So you get to study at Oxford. Another specific program that we offer, and we just started this last year, is we have a semester-long program, either fall or spring, in Glasgow, Scotland. And again, these come with opportunities for funding. The Oxford program guarantees funding. Glasgow is an application base because, everybody is applying for funds. We can't just say, yeah, it's paid for. We have to look at the numbers and be fairly reasonable on that. Slide's a little jank. That's my fault. So probably one of the best things that we have in-house in honors is we house the university's Office of Undergraduate Research. So we've got Dr. Anastasia Elder. She's our director of that office. Dr. Elder's existence in honors is to help students find opportunities for research and help them find funding opportunities for research. Sometimes that comes directly from us. Sometimes it comes from other units, either on campus or off campus. We've got a unit off campus called InSpark, and they give us about $300,000 a year to award to students for research and internship opportunities. So we're really happy to divvy those up. Fortunately, we still had several labs open this summer, so we were able to have students on campus doing meaningful research, which is just exciting. And we don't always mean in the sciences. You know, when somebody says, well, what's research mean for an English major? Well, it could be transcriptions. For history majors, it's field studies. It's also doing transcriptions, believe it or not. But these are opportunities that exist. And so we want our students to realize that it doesn't matter your field of study. If you're interested in delving deeper and creating new discovery within your field, that's research. So right now we've got 3 residence halls that are dedicated to honors students, specifically honors freshmen, but we do have some non-freshmen who live here. We've got Griffiths Hall, Hurst Hall, and Nunnally. Griffiths is kind of the main hub of the Honors College. It's where the Dean's Suite is, including myself, the Dean, the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, and our Director of Prestigious External Awards. And then the other 2 residence halls also share classrooms and office space with our faculty and staff. All said and done, we've got anywhere between 650 and 700 honors freshmen who live in these halls specifically, and then a few others scattered throughout campus. And they're very, very convenient to campus. In terms of monetary support, in order to be eligible for our most prestigious scholarships at the university, you have to have been admitted and participating in the Honors College. So the Presidential Scholarship, which is a full ride, generally we award that to 15 to 20 students a year. You have to be an honor student. It's plain and simple. You have to have applied, been admitted, and that's just step 1. Obviously, there are essays, there are interviews, but those monies come with study abroad support built in.
1 minute left.
Research support built in. You'd have to have a minimum of a 30 ACT and 3.75 GPA. We are doing super scoring this year, so that's going to be really interesting to follow. So we'll go to that next slide. I just went over to presidential, so it's a full ride. So we can go past that. And the provost is on par with that. It's an academic scholarship that's almost 100% tuition and fees, plus you get support for study abroad and research. That was quick. There's a whole lot of stuff on these slides. Just email me and we'll give you all the information you want about good standing, because there's no way I'll cover it in a minute. I will go over this. We've got 2 curriculum options. Option 1 course a year, 3.4 GPA, senior capstone experience. Option 2, cursus honorum, 27 honors credit hours, required study abroad, required senior thesis. That I can do in a minute. And the application process is fluid as we are moving it from an old system to a new system. So we are working through that as we speak. We'll go live by September 15th. That's quick.
Okay, now here we go. You think after living on Zoom University for the past, what feels like a year, I'd remember to unmute myself, but here we are. Hello, everyone. My name is William Teer, and I serve as the Coordinator of Enrollment and Engagement for the Sally McDonald Barksdale Honors College at the University of Mississippi. And on towards our next slide and the next that will follow, I'm going to cover in now 4.5 minutes our mission of the Sally McDonald Barksdale Honors College, which is to prepare citizen scholars who are fired up by the life of the mind, committed to the public good, and driven to find solutions. And one of the main ways that we're going to do that is put you in a seminar learning style environment. So the average classroom size here at the University of Mississippi is about 40 students. And what we're able to do in the Sally McDonald Barksdale Honors College is put you in a classroom space of no more than 15 to 20 students. Now, obviously, this picture was taken pre-COVID. We have a mix of online, remote, hybrid, and face-to-face classes this semester because of the virus. And so faculty members were given the choice as to which method that they preferred for that. Even though for our online classes, though, you're still going to be in an environment where you're learning deeper, broader, and more in depth with a smaller group of students that are exclusively in the Honors College. We'll go on to the next slide. All right. So our mission is one based on agency and choice. So Shannon, if you just want to click about 3 or 4 times, I've got a couple of sentences there that'll help the folks out. So some key differences and understandings about our program. The honors curriculum is set up to work with any major on campus, including early entry pharmacy. You'll take 30 hours of honors classes from your freshman to your senior year. On average, that comes down to 1 to 2 honors courses per semester. And again, you're choosing which honors classes you want to take. So if you want to take honors general chemistry or honors biology 160, you can go ahead and do that. But if you don't, that's okay too. Again, we're not really concerned with which classes you take so much as you having that opportunity on average 1 to 2 classes per semester where you're not taking extra classes, you're just taking the honors version of a course that you already need for your major or for your minor. Now we do have you take Honors 101 and 102, which is our version of a composition class. As others have shared, many of us are coming in with those credits having already been earned in high school, either through AP or dual enrollment options. Now, we still are big believers in critical thinking and writing, which is why those classes are still required. But the good news is that if you already have that writing credit, Honors 101 is now going to satisfy a social science or humanities credit, depending on your major. So in addition to that, you get priority class registration every semester and 24/7 access to our honors facilities as shown in the picture here. All right, Shannon, we'll move on. So other ways that we fulfill our mission are through community. Shannon, there should be 2 clicks here for some more information. So our students can live in Pittman Hall if they'd like to. This is one of the most recently constructed buildings on campus. It features modern amenities where you and a roommate share a bedroom and share a bathroom. But we leave it as an option to live in Pittman since it is a little bit more expensive to live there. And we know that there are a plethora of options to live, especially your first year on campus. We also offer a lot of community within the Honors College itself. This is a picture from our trivia night that we held in our great room last year. Obviously, in-person programming is going to be very limited and different this year, but that's why we're really excited to still offer things like Welcome Week in a virtual format this week, actually, where students are learning from current students and faculty and staff members about ways they can get involved and ways they can make their experience even better. Another program that I'm looking over this year is our peer mentor program, where we're going to pair new students, including transfers in small groups led by upperclassmen to welcome them in to our community. All right, Shannon, we'll keep on going. Some quick facts. Obviously, we're a means to an end of your success after you graduate. One fact that I'm really proud of is for our class of 2019, you'll see that 90% of our seniors who were employed or enrolled in graduate school by May 2019 as they were graduating. So you can see our academic breakdowns and where students were studying in their majors, as well as notable employers and graduate schools that our students found themselves in after graduation. All right, next up, Shannon. I know I'm running out of time. I want to quickly make sure we know how to apply. honors.olemiss.edu is going to show you all the information that you need. Shannon, the next click or two should show a very important process. We are holistic in our admissions process. Our admissions committee does not review ACT or SAT scores at all. You do have to have a standardized test score on file for your general undergraduate admissions application, but whether you've done excellent or you feel like that number doesn't represent your full ability, our admissions committee for the Honors College is not going to review that score. Shannon, if you could click on to the next slide. Instead, we're going to weigh your 3 essays that you'll write, 3 letters of recommendation, a resume section, which is where you'll fill out involvement, work, volunteer experience.
1 minute.
And 1 minute, Kirsten.
Yes.
And your GPA and transcript. So how do you apply? olemiss.edu/apply now is where you're going to fill out what's called the Special Programs and Scholarships application. This is where you apply to competitive scholarships and competitive programs like the Honors College. And our application is open now, y'all. Shannon, one more slide here. We have an early action deadline of November the 1st, which if you apply to, you'll know by December 20th if you've been admitted. And if you've heard nothing else or remember nothing else from today's presentation, just know that our final deadline to apply is January 5th, 2021. Shannon, we'll click over once. Actually, this is going to be like 5 clicks. Normally, I'd be able to get back into that, but that's why for a few more clicks, you can. I just want to get to the contact page where I have my email. You can stay in touch. So again, this is a quick overview. Give me a follow on Instagram at HonorsWilliams. Shoot me an email when y'all have questions. We're 1,700 students strong and holistic in our approach, and we hope that you'll send us an application before the 5th of January. Thanks.
All right, hi everybody. My name is Emily Gruzinskas. I am the coordinator of recruitment for the Southern Miss Honors College. Just to give you guys a little bit of background, the way that our Honors College works is pretty different from what you might expect from other honors colleges. I think each of us take a pretty unique approach, though, it sounds, with the way that our curriculums work. We are about 500 strong with our student population, and you can be in any major in our honors college. That's something else that's really great. It works no matter what major you want to pursue. Our curriculum is highly developmental. So basically what that means is we want to build you guys up over your 4 years at the university, and we want you to develop new perspectives and to cultivate lots of qualities and characteristics that are going to be really important no matter what field you decide to go into after you graduate. So all of our students, they take all their normal classes for their major, but then you take one honors class each semester. Overall, that's kind of what happens with our classes. The classes themselves are kind of cool, funky topics, seminars, kind of like how some other my friends here have described them. Our classes range in topics anywhere from artificial intelligence to understanding the Frankenstein monster to fossil record and mythology. So there are so many different classes that you can choose from. You get to pick whichever classes sound fun and interesting to you. The goal behind the classes is to teach you guys how to look at things in different ways, how to learn how to ask and answer complex questions, how to think critically and creatively about information and how to solve problems, how to communicate effectively, all things that everyone needs to know how to do no matter what field you decide to go into after you graduate. There are some really great active learning opportunities within the Honors College. All of our freshmen go on an active learning trip. It's a 3 or 4 day trip depending on where you go. The professor plans that whole itinerary. This year it's going to look a little different because of COVID, but in the past, a couple years ago, I went with a class to Houston, Texas. I went with a class to Washington, D.C. this past year. It's a really great trip. It brings the learning outside of the classroom so that you can actually see the things that you're learning in the context of the world. And we do cover the cost of that trip, so you guys don't have to worry about that, or your parents don't have to worry about that. But it's also a really great bonding experience. Our classes are really small. You're going to be looking at around 15 classmates in your honors class. In the classes, it's going to be really important to be comfortable with each other so that you can share your opinions and discuss the content with one another. So that trip is a really important piece of that freshman year for sure. We want you guys to bond. Shannon, we can go to the next slide. Actually, whoa, sorry, go back. I got so excited about bonding that I forgot to talk about research. Research is also something that's very important. There are lots of opportunities for research. All of our students do a thesis project in their senior year. That's gonna look different depending on what major you're in. So if you're in a more creative major, it might be a more creative project. If you're in the sciences, it'll probably look more like traditional research, but it's gonna be a really, really important piece for you no matter what field you go into, because that can look really good on your resume for jobs, or if you're wanting to go to graduate school or any kind of professional school like medical school or law school, that thesis project is going to look really good on your applications for those programs. Okay, sorry about that. So benefits, there are lots of benefits to being in the Honors College. One of the beyond just, the great experiences that you receive, but all of our students receive a scholarship. So there are 3 different types of scholarships that we offer to all of our students who are admitted. It's going to be the Honor Scholar Award, which is $2,000 per year for all 4 years that you're in the Honors College, or you would receive one of our Presidential or Discovery Scholarships, which are those full ride type scholarships. Another really great benefit is honors housing. All of our students in their freshman year live in honors housing, which is called Van Hall. There's a video tour of that on the website, but it's a really great dorm. It wasn't even built when I was a student, so it's brand new. But it's you and your roommate. You have your own bathroom and your own thermostat in your room, which is nice. And I just think it's a good environment to be in your first year because you're with other like-minded, academically driven students. I just think it's a good community to be a part of your first year. You've got honors RAs on your hall. They plan all kinds of programming and stuff for you there. The honors housing is really great. Another great perk is priority registration for classes. When you're in the Honors College, you get to sign up for classes before the rest of the university, which is really, really, it's a cool benefit whenever you're trying to avoid those 8 a.m. classes, or if you're trying to get in with the best professor, or you're trying to work around your work schedule. That's another really great perk that our students love. Those are just three of the benefits, 3 of my favorites anyway. There are many, many more though beyond that. So a little bit of background on the application. You do have to be admitted to the university first before you can apply to the Honors College. The university application is open, but you do have to be admitted to the university by December 1st. So if you're even thinking about applying to USM or interested in this program, I would go ahead and get that application knocked out. Go ahead and get admitted to the university. Once you're admitted, you'll be able to get into the Honors College application. I send out lots of emails about that, but you can also find out specific details about what the application looks like on our website as well. That application will open September 1st and it's due by January 15th, which will be here before you know it. So I recommend getting started early on these applications because it adds up. I'm sure everybody here can attest that time goes by very quickly. Some new changes that we have to our application process this year. All students, in order to get into the Honors College application, you have to have at least a 24 ACT and a 3.5 or above GPA. Those are our minimum qualifications. Beyond that, we have a score blind review process. So no one is going to look at your ACT score or GPA when it comes for the application.
1 minute.
Cool. Next slide. Okay, so some things that I want you guys to be thinking about, some next steps that I want you guys to have in your mind. online. We do have campus visits right now. We have started doing on-campus visits. If you're comfortable with that, we've taken lots of precautions to make sure that you and your families are staying safe. So I recommend coming to campus if you're comfortable with that. Schedule an appointment with me. I'm doing those in September, starting in September. If you'd rather do virtual, we also have virtual admissions sessions and virtual honors college visits. For my high school seniors, I want you guys to apply to the university and get started on your honors college applications. That's another step that I want you to take. And I want y'all to follow us on social media. Our Instagram is great. Our social media is great. It's a really great way to get to know to our students, see what they're doing, see what they're accomplishing. Our handle is HC_Southern Miss. That's a great way to find out more about who we are and what we're doing. That's all I've got. If you ever need anything, reach out to me. The best way to reach out to me is honors@usm.edu. Thanks.
Thank you to all of our presenters. All of this information has been extremely helpful. We know all of the participants that are joining us today and all of our future viewers of this webinar are going to be very appreciative of all the information that you have provided for us. Those that are with us live, if you have any questions that haven't been addressed or any specific to a particular panelist, if you'll please take a moment, put those in the Q&A section. You'll see at the bottom bar of your window, there's a chat and then there's a Q&A. If you'll drop those in the Q&A, we will give you guys a moment to navigate to that space. If you have those particular questions, just know that the contact information for all of our panelists, their email address will be available in the follow-up thanks for attending email. So that way, as they've all mentioned, email them or utilize social media accounts to follow. Seems like a great place for you or your students to get that information. So we'll give about 30 more seconds for those to put in the questions in the Q&A box on your screen. Any panelists that wanted to address those initial questions, maybe you didn't in your section, any remaining talking points in regards to the question about what measures honors colleges are taking to instill community students during their remote learning or hybrid session, if that is the case on your campus, or wondering, about the general benefits. We covered that strongly, and any additional opportunities gained. We learned about a lot of those benefits today. Really more, if anyone has any parting comments on creating that community in the hybrid or distance learning space, feel free to share that out.
If I can real quick, I'd like to address the community, right? So part of the honors, and I think most of the others are going to agree on this, is we're based on seminar style courses, and they're just not as strong in a virtual setting. So almost every honors course at the university is face-to-face. And then every honors course that is specifically taught by our honors faculty fellows is face-to-face. We really feel this is strong, a strong way to build relationship with students and faculty. But also we've decided to open up any guest speakers for one class. We're opening up for honors as a whole to have access to those speakers because we can do that in this virtual setting. So we're taking advantage of being able to put students who may not be in a class but want to hear the Undersecretary of the Department of Defense talk. Well, come on over. You can still listen to that person and see that person speak.
Great. Thank you, George from Mississippi State. That's really an added benefit for sure. Emily, I think you had a hand.
Yeah, another really great way that we've been approaching community for this fall, and the way that we've been approaching it since COVID pretty much started. Our Honors College Leadership Council has really taken the reins in building community amongst our student body. So we have a student leadership council. It's comprised of about 20% of our student body, our honors student body, and they've planned all kinds of really great fun community virtual events for this fall. We'll be having virtual trivia nights. We're going to be having some virtual craft nights, and they're doing like some dorm cooking series and things like that. So they're really working very hard to keep the students engaged while they're on campus, or if they're staying off campus this semester. The Honors College Leadership Council has been instrumental in building community over the years. We also have a first-year mentor program, as some people have mentioned, and they're working very hard to engage our first-year students especially, and make sure everybody stays on track and transitions well to the university life. So our leadership team for sure has done a lot to build community.
Thank you, Emily from Southern Miss. William?
I just want to say, I think it's really encouraging hearing all the different ways that our respective programs are supporting students. This whole year and these past 2 semesters, we've been forced to change, and a lot of our models of education are not made to be built this way. But I think it's encouraging to hear how much innovation that we're all doing to support our students this time, right? One thing that I wanted to highlight too, it's something I actually didn't have as much time to mention. So all of our students engage in research their senior year in their thesis and capstone project. And this ties into student support as well. We actually were able to hire a new associate dean who's overseeing the capstone experience for all of our students. So in addition to that thesis research requirement, we now are able to offer more support in that area. So students have a lot more of a direct and clear area to get their questions answered for that. But yeah, we're excited for our virtual welcome week to continue. And we're excited for our own student council to provide some similar programs like Emily and George and others were mentioning too. So.
Thank you, William from Ole Miss Honors College. Like you said, we are very appreciative of all the things that we're learning and transitioning into this virtual space. And so I'll let Shannon kind of share, speaking of virtual space, some additional trainings that we have virtually offered.
Yes. All right, again, many thanks to our presenters. I have a senior in high school, so I was listening very intently to all of your programs. So I appreciate all of your information. For those listening, we will email you a recording of this webinar in the next couple of days, and we will also post it on our YouTube channel. We would appreciate it if you would complete the short survey that will automatically pop up at the end of this meeting. Please fill it out and give us feedback on today's webinar so we can keep improving. This is our second one, and I know myself, I'm still a little clunky, so we're still learning. So if you will fill that out for us, that would be great. Stay tuned for our next Topic Tuesday webinar, which will be Tuesday, September 8th, so after Labor Day. During that webinar, we will just be discussing all things college application process. We'll have some guest speakers from Common Application and some other entities that will talk to you about all things college applications. We will be continuing this webinar series throughout the fall semester. If you participate in 5 webinars, you will have the opportunity to apply for 0.5 CEUs. And if you participate in all 10 webinars, you will have the opportunity to apply for 1 full CEU. On your screen, you will see the topics that we will be covering in the next couple of weeks. So next week, or the next one, college applications, updates from the Mississippi Office of Financial Aid. We will be reaching out to some of these folks' colleagues to be talking about scholarship procedures at the IHL universities, counseling cultural competencies, selective college admission, counselor recommendation letters, and Get to College is never complete without a webinar on Financial Aid 101 and filling out the FAFSA. So we are most excited for that. You can register for these webinars on our Get to College website. They are listed under the Educator tab, and then choose Professional Development. While you are there registering, please check out all the other resources for you and your students listed under the Educator tab. And you will see some of those here. So we will be having some ACT instructor training led by our famous Stephen Brown. And then, of course, Kirsten and I can't wait and are completely jazzed up for FAFSA training. So you will see those dates there. And then we're also going to be hosting some college and career readiness teacher chats. So again, all of those you can sign up for on our website under that Educator tab. As always, here is our contact information. Here's the contact information, our email, and then also our respective offices' phone numbers. Again, remember we are doing virtual appointments, and those can be available by calling us or by booking online. If you have any follow-up questions, you can reach us at this information listed on the screen. And thank you so much again for joining us. We'll see you next time.